In this video, I will be showing you two basic clay construction techniques, hand construction and coil construction. Before we begin constructing with our clay, we need to work the clay to remove air bubbles and to soften it. This process is known as wedging and is typically done standing so that you may use your entire upper body while working the clay. You want to push into the clay with both hands, then lift the clay back towards you before pushing into it again. This process takes longer depending on the amount of clay you are trying to wedge at one time. Once your clay is wedged, you can begin constructing. Hand construction is done by using your thumb and pushing out from the center mass of the clay into your other fingers. As you continue pushing, you can rotate the clay to begin creating an even thickness throughout the outside of your clay. As you can see from my example, it is very easy for the clay to become deformed if you are rushing to create your form. Patience is key in getting the shape to be what you want it to be. I would recommend that my students instead use the coil construction method, as while it does take a bit longer to do, you have much greater control over the shape and thickness of your piece. When using coils, I suggest that you begin by rolling out a flat base. Coils are extremely flexible and work great when creating objects that need to be round. I am cutting a circular shape as the basis for my example. Once you have your base, you will begin creating coils. Coils can be thought of as long, snake-like shapes. You begin by shaping your clay into a cylinder, and then using your hands, you roll the clay forwards and backwards. As you are rolling your clay, you want to fan your fingers away from the center so that cylinder begins to stretch. Do your best to keep the thickness uniform throughout the coil, and do not make your coils too thin. Clay is heavy, and if your coils are too thin, you may end up having your piece collapse into itself. Once you have the desired thickness of clay, you'll lay it around the edge of your base. I recommend cutting your clay where it overlaps and attaching the ends. Attaching clay is not as simple as pushing two pieces together. If you want good adhesion, you must use slip, which is clay that has been watered down. The method we implement is called score and slip, where you use a sharp tool to create score marks on the surfaces that you want to attach to each other. After creating these marks, you apply slip to the scored surface, and then you may attach the two pieces together. Once you have completed this step, you must simply repeat the process, starting with rolling out a new coil, removing the overlap, and then scoring and applying slip to attach it. Do not worry if your coils are too thick for what you have in mind for your finished product, as you can always use tools to further shape your clay as you continue working.